Here we go with the call of today's Rico Woodbine Mile, track announcer Dan Loisel.
Off in the Rico Woodbine Mile, and Bobby's kitten broke like a bullet, as did Ansel. And up close, Shirley is Silver Freak in third. River Seven's at the hedge in fourth. Then Lockout and Grand Arches to the outside of Lockout. Kagan has settled into stride, back in seventh position. Then we have Dorset. Trade Storm has two horses beaten, those being Jack Milton and his race to win. And it's Bobby's kitten streaking along the backstretch. Ansel right at his neck at the hedge. Just in behind horses, Silver Freak is in third position and a length and a half off the lead. River 7 is close to the pace in fourth, or 7 lengths. The Grand Arch, then Kagan and Dorset. Lockout. Trade Storm for Jamie Spencer's down toward the rail. Second to last is Jack Milton, then his race to win. They ran a half in 40, 7-2. Bobby's kitten, Ansel to the inside. Right there is Silver Freak, less than 3/8 to go. And the longest stretch on the continent awaits. And they straighten away in the Rico Woodbine Mile. Down on the inside it is Bobby's kitten. Here comes River 7, and here comes Grand Arch, the King Edward winner. Grand Arch is running hard on the outside. It is mayhem in the mile in the final furlong. Digging down deep is Bobby's kitten. Here comes Trade Storm for Jamie Spencer. Trade Storm has taken the lead. Kagan's coming late, and it's Trade Storm. A brilliant performance to win the Rico Woodbine Mile to Kagan, and a show photo between Bobby's kitten and River 7.
Trade Storm finished third in this race last year behind your eventual horse of the year, Wise Dan. Today, breaking a step slow, as he did in that event last year. Jamie Spencer from off the pace for trainer David Simcock. It's Trade Storm to take the Woodbine Mile, Jason.
Somewhat appropriate that a European wins this race, Joaquin, because it's a very European day. We talked about it, a very European-like atmosphere. It's cool, it's overcast, there's cut in the ground. What a huge day for David Simcock. Wins a Northern Dancer with Sheikh Zayed Road. And what about a patient ride here by Jamie Spencer? He says, I know how long this Woodbine stretch is. I know there's 1,440 feet before we get to that wire. And he waited and waited and waited. And look at the explosive run right here. Him and Kagan are making their moves at the same time, but Kagan simply outrun on this day by Trade Storm. You talked about it. Third last year behind Wise Dan. There's no Wise Dan here in 2014. And it is Trade Storm that will take the trophy across the Atlantic. Looks like Bobby's kitten hung on in a gallant effort to finish third. A little washed out there. So unofficially, it looks like Joaquin 2-5-8 in today's running of the Rico Woodbine Mile. What a race.
He was 0 for 6 on the year coming into this race. He had 3 second-place finishes, 2 of them coming in back-to-back races at Haydock on July 19th and at York last out on August 23rd. So maybe just not as a hard campaign for Trade Storm coming into the edition this year for the Woodbine Mile. He did break a step slow last year in the Woodbine Mile, Jason. If you do that behind your horse of the year, Wise Dan, you really have no chance. And you know what? He did it once again. He didn't get off to the best beginnings.
Yeah, and that seems like maybe that's his trademark thing, because, yeah, you're right. He definitely got out of the gate a little slow, because watching the head-on replay, Ansel crosses over so quickly. So obviously he was clear of Trade Storm, but an unbelievable ride. And, you know, what a day for David Simcock, as talked about. Team Europe getting a couple of big wins here on the grass at Woodbine, sort of their home away from home. Jamie Spencer gets a big win. And now, I guess the question to ask David Simcock and company would be, is your next stop the Breeders' Cup?
That's a big question, because Trade Storm is not Breeders' Cup nominated. He would have to pay a supplemental fee into the Breeders' Cup Mile on November 1st at Santa Anita. And we will see if Trade Storm and the Connections decide to go ahead and go forth towards that Breeders' Cup Mile in the early part of November. Trade Storm, a 6-year-old horse, now 6 for 34 lifetime, Jason, and a very good edition of the 18th running here of the Woodbine Mile this year.